Okay, so just a little slower moving through these things, but has been Christmas. We just watched Elvis. Big surprise. The miniseries from 2005, starring John Reese, Mayer, Meyer.
Something.
I don't know how to say his name clearly. Um, but okay, so what did you think?
Mm,
Oh, what?
I didn't think it was that great.
What was not great about it?
Well, it followed the other one pretty much to the T, and I didn't think this guy acted that well.
Um,
And
okay.
just like with Kurt Russell, he over, um,
The lip.
yeah, the whole lip thing is just so worn out, and I just thought he exaggerated his performance as well.
Huh.
Not
Okay.
as bad as Kurt Russell, but I still think he did, and I don't know.
Well,
I didn't particularly care for it. It might be because we watched the same thing twice, and
yeah, it's the same kind of story. I mean,
yeah,
I think this one. I don't know. This one. Oh, sorry for the camera movement. I think this one's more tragic. It shows.
it's sad.
Yeah, it shows his life story much more intensely. It's kind of like, sometimes I feel as an Elvis fan, I want to demonize Tom Parker, and other times I want to dream that Elvis could be greater if given the chance. And um, but ultimately, this really kind of shows you how, to quote Suspicious Minds, he's caught in a trap, and he can't walk out. Um,
Certainly, the Tom Parker in this one was really good,
yeah.
and I like that a lot.
Uh,
Oh, something was bothering me.
yeah. So, I mean, we sort of covered this in the past, but before Elvis, there was no rock star.
Mm-hmm.
And so there's no template for this. They're making up as they go. And so Tom Parker is using um, kind of older tactics to keep Elvis a celebrity and a star. And I don't think he understood what Elvis was and what he could do.
Mm-hmm.
He just knew he had a guy who could earn cash, and that was important. And certainly that was something that benefited him, but it is also something that was going to benefit his client. And so I don't know. It's just sort of tragic to see that he's got so famous and he lived in this bubble and he wasn't allowed to do much outside of it, and that he really never had the chance to grow up and become very sophisticated. He's living off of old life lessons from being dirt poor, and he got caught up in the fame, and everything sort of just blew up around him.
And his pure loyalty.
Yeah, and he had great character. Even though there's moments here where he shows that he's overwhelmed and he's
Mm-hmm.
juvenile in some ways about his emotional development. Um, he still is very loyal and always very courteous and everything. But I don't know. I like it. I like the film. The main character, the main actor, he is a little disturbing at times. He um, overall, I think he did a decent job, but I sort of feel like he isn't a fan of Elvis. That he was
Mm-hmm.
doing a job. He didn't have a love for the singer, but that's fine. He was just doing his job. I will say the one great thing about this production is they got to use Elvis's recordings.
Yes. So if you closed your eyes
Yeah, and
and just listen, because it was great. That's true. I
yeah,
like that a lot better.
and there were some really effective cuts and edits and stuff that it just makes you jump up out of your seat and pay attention. I mean, Elvis, it really makes those songs. You show the power of them and the because sometimes we've again as fans we've heard these songs over and over and over, and so we love them, but they tend to not they lose the shine a little bit, and when you see it in context to life and see how it played out, it's really very powerful. So that was great. This guy didn't do a great lip syncing all the time, but that's fine.
No,
Like you
that's why
said,
you had
close
to
your
close
eyes.
your eyes.
Um, so I mean, he won an award.
He did?
I think it was a Golden Globe, and the series won an award for best miniseries.
Ah,
It was nominated for tons of things, but only won a couple of them. But it was still pretty impressive. I don't remember it being in 2005. I thought it was older than that, but that's the year that it came out.
hmm.
Um, so let's see.
They also hit on the drugs far more than the other one did too.
Yeah, they did a
And
lot
I
of
was
things.
surprised at how early on it was
Yeah,
in
actually, I
his
think they.
career. I thought he got into it much later.
Yeah, they do mention that he kind of gets introduced in the military with it, but they don't really focus on it becoming a problem for him
Until
until 64 or 5 ish,
yeah,
somewhere in that time
I
frame.
was surprised with that.
Yeah. Um,
If it's true, I don't know. I mean, they're all
seems it's pretty.
they're all different.
Yeah.
So
Um, yeah, it's just sort of a shame because he really was kind of caught in this fame, and there was no really easy way out for him. He was gonna have to pull something drastic, and I don't know. I know we know now, looking back, he could have survived it, um, but they just did not know these things, and there was no path like this. There's no one to point at. He was in uncharted territory. He was clearly one of a kind, um, and there, you just didn't know. So it's a live and learn kind of situation. Okay, so I don't think there's anything else I wanted to talk about. I did like that they kind of went into the Anne Margaret area. That was kind of interesting.
yes, that was
Yeah, that was kind of
that
cool.
was.
And Rose McGowan did an okay job there. She kind of looked
Mhm.
like her at times. It wasn't too much, but you got to tell that there was something important going on there. Again, another moment of where Elvis is not in charge of his destiny. He probably would have pursued that more, but I mean, he had a young girl at home. That was really very clear. Tom Parker was like, this is a nightmare.
Right.
Um, so anyway, really interesting. Overall, I really liked the production a great deal. Again, I don't know if I would ever say this is better or worse than the Kurt Russell thing. I liked both for different reasons. I think it's a strong production. I'll probably rate it around a 4.
Oh,
But I know, if you rate the person as well, then I don't know. He did an okay job mostly in the acting stuff. At performing, I didn't really dig his performances of the performances. But so, what did you think rate wise? It's the first time I rated before you, but go
I
ahead.
know.
I know. So, what did you think?
2.
Okay. So,
Because I think I gave 1 to Kurt Russell. Didn't I?
oh, I don't know.
Yeah, I think so.
I thought Kurt
'Cause I
did a
thought
really good job, but we liked the guy who played in the miniseries, Michael St.
he
Gerard.
was excellent.
He just looked. I mean, he was dead on and up. These guys, Kurt and John, both, had moments. There was a moment when they're prepping the '68 special, and but John was kind of in silhouette, so he had a look that looked a lot like
Yeah.
Elvis. But
In the beginning, it horrible,
yeah,
but it kind of grew on you after a while. But he's so small. He seemed very small in stature, and I
yeah.
didn't.
And when he was trying to have Elvis's voice come out, it didn't
fit.
feel like. But there again, I mean, how does any person go up and compare it to Elvis? It's always less than. So, but that's
Yeah.
the guy in the miniseries. There were times where you go in and you buy it, you believe it. So
Yep. He's pretty.
yeah,
You got to be pretty to play Elvis.
yeah. So when we get to another Elvis production, I would probably, we're hitting the same material over and over. It's a little tiresome, but I am very curious again I haven't seen it in a long time, but the Elvis and Me, the Priscilla's story, I'm curious about, but we're gonna have to cleanse our palate for a little bit, and we'll come back to it. But I'm curious. We've seen a number of stories about Priscilla's side, and this one in particular leads a little bit more about her experience. So now we're really kind of primed to look at
Yeah,
that.
be interesting.
Yeah,
Because we're shocked every time with the 14-year-old. It's still
stunning.
just
In today's world, he never would have got away with it.
no.
That he could probably go down in history of getting away with. That's so crazy.
Yeah.
Okay, so that's it.
That's it.
Yep. We'll return when we do. All right. Thank you.
See ya.